And here we are. Good afternoon, SLAE family. I am very, very excited to be here with you today. And I have an amazing guest. We always have amazing guests, but I've known Brenda for many years, and she is a really powerful and influential woman who I have so much respect for. And today you get to meet her, which is going to be fantastic. So Brenda is actually the chair of the Women's Leadership Committee with the Baltimore City Chamber of Commerce. And she's also in her own right, a phenomenal entrepreneur, a super mom. I've met her kids and they're pretty amazing. And she's going to share a lot of great information with us today. So to kick us off, the first thing I would like to do is officially welcome her. And Brenda, if you could take a minute, please, and introduce yourself. Tell us about your background as an entrepreneur. You can brag about those awesome kids of yours because everyone loves your kids. And we'll get started today.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me to share with your SLAE family. I'm very excited about what you've been doing, how you've been engaging women entrepreneurs, and I think it's absolutely phenomenal, especially at this point in time in our history. So my name, as you said, is Brenda Kwateng. I am the founder and chief agilist at Ingenuity Consulting Solutions, also known as ICSC Global. And as an organization, what we do is help businesses learn how to transform the way and process that they do their business in an agile manner. So to get quick results in short periods of time in order to build upon maybe a bigger product or service they're building to the market. In addition to providing those transformation services, we also provide certification training for individuals and businesses that want to take on this agile format and learn in-house how to do it and how to just move forward with it. We've been in business since November 2016. It has been a phenomenal ride. I've enjoyed every moment of it. And I can't say anything really bad about it. I mean, it's business. So you have to be in a place where you got to be flexible, but always come up with your plan B to be then better prepared for yourself and for your family. My family consists of 3 absolutely amazing children. And they are, when I say that, it's not a joke.
Listen, I agree with you. I'm not biased at all. They're pretty awesome kids.
So all 3 of them are Mandarin speakers. They went to a Mandarin immersion school. Right now I have a senior who is her senior class president at City High School. I have a sophomore who is a vice president for her class and then also a cheerleader. And then my son who is going into the 4th grade and just creatively growing himself and what he wants to do in that space. So very excited for them and the opportunities and hoping that this year is a very safe year for us and all our teachers and students as we return back to the classroom.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. We're all praying for a safe and healthy year. Wouldn't that be the biggest blessing anyone could ask for?
Yes, definitely.
So you juggle very successful business and you're super mom at the same time. And in your spare time, you are running this Women's Leadership Committee. So can you take a couple minutes and share with everybody what exactly that is, what it does, kind of services it provides? Let everyone know a little bit about how you're running that, please.
Awesome. So yes, so the Baltimore City Chamber of Commerce late last year kind of identified that we needed to have a space for women-owned businesses to be able to grow and thrive and get the information they specifically needed. When you look out in the business marketplace in general, women-owned businesses are the fastest growing business entrepreneurship that's taking place today. However, tend to have a lack of access to capital, access to information, and just access to what is needed to help them better grow and run their businesses. So I was approached by the current chairman, Will Holmes, and worked with actually a co-chair, fabulous young lady by the name of Dr. Rhonda Farrell, who helped us really set up and craft this organization. And the goal is that we provide programming on a monthly basis, and then throughout the year, depending on what the needs are of the members in regards to information about digital marketing, about federal contracts, about finances, about how to better run your business or even start your business and understand some of the basics that you need to know and have established as your infrastructure to allow you to be more successful and kind of avoid some of the bumps in the road that can happen when you start a business.
That's incredible. Now, how do you do this? So are people accessing literature? Are they going to an event? Is it on Zoom? How do people become part of this and tap into the information and the resources that you're offering for them?
So relatively simple. So we have a website, baltimorecitychamber.org, bccoc.org, and you can go out onto the site, look at the events we have coming up. We do have a membership, and then there's available for non-members too. So we like to make sure that those individuals that are looking and thinking, have a business, or are not sure whether we're a good fit for them, they have an opportunity to learn and grow and see what we're about to then determine whether they would do or do not want to become a member. But the monthly program that we have, there's a RSVP link that is on the website. So we have not only our general meetings, but we share information around what we're doing as Women's Leadership Committee, what the Greater Chamber is doing, and then what specific programs and events or information that we feel women need to know about better helping their business at that time. Right now, we have a major event that we're really super excited about called Raising Our Cups. And it's actually a fundraiser for breast cancer awareness. Yeah, I mean, we've been through so much in regards to diseases with the C, but this is a disease that's been with us for a while, and we want to go ahead and provide support for those folks that have been going through treatment or don't realize that there's steps that they can do in regards to prevention and giving them that information. And so through this fundraiser, we're doing it in person and virtually. We're raising money for that cause. So we're super excited about that coming up on September 30th.
September 30th. So is that limited to people, since you're doing it online also, who are in Maryland, or if someone is in another part of the country, can they participate online with you?
Oh, most definitely. So it's open to in-person and virtually anywhere. Just need to go ahead and go to the Baltimore City Chamber website, and they can go ahead and get tickets there. And we will be having not only a DJ live, so even if you're in Kansas City and you can't join us, you can still dance with us and have a good time. We'll also have some silent auction events, items coming up. I'm really excited. We were able to get some really great gifts from I won't name, but a magazine company in New York had a lot of promotional items that they were like, we really like you to support what you're doing. And so some really unique gifts that we have out there for hopefully everyone to be able to help support and raise money for our cause.
Oh, that's excellent. So you're not just helping women in terms of being entrepreneurs, you're really looking out for the overall well-being of women with all of this.
Exactly.
And go ahead, please. So with this, tell me a little bit about some, if you have like a success story or some of the impact that you've been able to have since you started running the leadership committee.
Certainly. So I think the greatest thing that I love about this committee is the ability to connect women businesses with other businesses. And so in the introduction of, for example, we have Solo Marketing, who is a phenomenal young lady who helps businesses with digital marketing. And so getting a chance to speak to her, introduce her, and she's actually going to be one of our speakers coming up in September, on September 23rd. And you can again register on the Baltimore City Chamber website, but she's going to be talking about digital marketing, but connecting her, for example, with a young lady that's a trainer, and now having her show her how she can better brand her business, grow her business, and then engage others. And so those kind of like connections one-on-one to multiples, I think are really important, because not only do we want to make sure that the businesses grow, but we want to make sure that our women members have connections that help them grow as their business grows. And looking at that, and some people may say, well, it's weird, you're looking at two different things, but I think we as women tend to have to balance a lot of things in our lives. And so if we have the opportunity to work with others that understand that complexity and can better help support us and help us be better at what we're doing, that's what it's all about.
That is what it's all about. And, for so many years, there was always what they called the old boys network or the old boys club. So like, why not have the, contemporary women's club?
The cute ones. We're the cute ones.
Because there are a lot, listen, all parents juggle things, but there are a lot of women that are, especially, I have so much respect for single moms. When someone's a single mom and they're really managing, running a business and kids, there's not only the business piece of it, but there's the sanity of all of it too.
Yeah, that's definitely.
So long term, now I know this committee is relatively new. What is your goal with it long term? Where would you like to see it grow? What are the things that you would love to see it in, expand to do for women?
So I think long term, I'd love for us to be a platform and a base for women businesses in this Metro Baltimore area. And I should note there's a lot of other great resources that we actually partner with. So that's one thing that I think is really important. It's not about just our organization, but there's others out there that are doing different things that we constantly try and work with to better help make sure that the information is provided for women-owned and minority businesses. So for example, the Baltimore Women's Business Center is an organization we're partnering with that provides one-on-one counseling in regards to business growth and development. Another group that I've had an opportunity to work with, and I know that was really just mind-blowing to an extent in regards to how you could look and grow your business, is the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program. We affiliated that through our chairman and also the chamber, as we are actually considered a funnel in regards to helping business look at that. There's another group through Morgan State, which is Baltimore Leads Business, whereas for newer business owners and helping them look at how they should grow their business, what things that they should look to put in place, whether their products or services are really marketable and what things they need to do to adjust before they go to the market. So I would say our goal is to make sure that we're a platform to allow access to resources, to people, to funds, to allow businesses to really grow. And knowing that as the marketplace has shifted, especially coming out of COVID, and a lot of people are now not returning to a corporate environment, but starting their own business, helping them get that foundation that they need in order to do that and to grow and thrive as they should in the next 15, 20, 30 years.
That's fantastic. And it is interesting. I think a lot of people value being an entrepreneur during all the craziness that we've had in the last year and a half. There's something pretty nice about it. And as a mom, it's really awesome if you're an entrepreneur too, because, I'm an entrepreneur just like you. And my son's got his first JV game this week, and I can leave in the middle of the day because no one's going to stop me. So there are some great quality of life issues. Now, when you started this, you told me how you approached, and you're now the chair of this organization. Did you have a model for it? I mean, there's Chamber of Commerce all over the country, but was there anything that you used to look at? Did you have to create this? Tell me a little bit about your vision for it and where it came from.
So I think in the creation of it, we didn't necessarily have a model, but we wanted to, and this is kind of leads back to the agile sense of my background, is we wanted it to be customer centric. We wanted to make sure we were meeting the needs and understand the needs of our customers. So we presented some initial presentations over the first couple of months and worked to get feedback from our audience of, is this really meeting your need? And especially going through COVID, people's business needs change. Some people were not ready to be remote. And so what do you need to be remote? How do you need to be supported? How do you now need to engage your customers? How do you now need to better manage your clients? And so getting that feedback and then constantly saying, okay, what can we do now to provide to meet those needs? And so that's one thing I'd say is one of the evolutionary processes that we go through to ensure that we are really working hand in hand to give people what they need in regards to their participation with our group.
That's incredible. And of course, you're in a great position with your, background as an entrepreneur to do all of that. So if somebody is watching this, and we're both in Maryland and they're in Maryland, we're going to give out the links to the site and all the information that you're talking about. But let's say we have someone, from Ohio or Arizona or New York who's watching this, can they contact their local Chamber of Commerce? If there's nothing like it, would you suggest they try and start one themselves? What advice would you give to someone who's in another part of the country?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, if they're live in an area where there's a chamber and they don't have this in place, they don't have a women-focused business arm, I would definitely speak to them about it. I mean, women business owners are the fastest growing business owners in the country, period. I want to say it's close to 45% of new businesses are opened by women. So really? Therefore, yeah. And then the categories, women, minorities, and then, that there's men too, but I would say if there's not, it's a need that's growing and it needs to be addressed. I would also definitely suggest from kind of a national level, there is the Women Business Entrepreneur Network Consortium, and their email address their website we can provide to them too. Perfect. So that if there's not something locally, like they may not have a chamber or the chamber is not necessarily active, but there's other organizations out there that they can reach out to in order to then get connected and figure out what resources they need to grow their businesses.
So they can either go seeking resources, or they can do what you did and become the resource. That's always another
Yeah.
idea as well.
And I would, I mean, depending on what your bandwidth is and, you know, where you are, I mean, do what works best for you. I mean, you may find an organization that exists, but doesn't meet the needs as you know them, and the other business women, you know, that their needs aren't being met there. And so create something that's going to meet the need. I think that's the most important thing, is to ensure that everyone's getting what they need in order to better serve themselves and their clients.
And you brought up something that I really want to ask you about: bandwidth, balance, all that stuff. There is the whole conversation for so many women who, especially if you're starting a business, that's a lot to create something from scratch. And if they're doing that, it's a lot anyway. And if they happen to be a parent, it's a lot, a lot, a lot. Do you have any words of wisdom about the work-life balance? Is it a myth? Is it possible? What would you tell people? Because you're a great example. You've got 3 plates spinning. You've got your company spinning, the kids spinning, and of course this as well. What would you say for advice, or, like I said, a sanity check for anybody watching this?
So I should kind of divulge. I have a couple other plates spinning too, but
yes, you do. I was trying to keep it kind of simple.
But I only say that to say this. Definitely you have to work to find balance. As you said, the example, like, you have the ability to take off time to go to your son's game, like take off time to not only engage with your kids, but take off time for yourself. I think that's so important. To the point that I'm pretty driven. Sometimes I got to schedule fun. I got to schedule that time to not be engaged in it, because if you don't, the next thing you know, you look up and it's a week or so later and I've not, you know, gone to take a massage, or I haven't gone for a walk, or I haven't called the girlfriend that I wanted to talk to. So making sure you're being intentional about what you're doing with your time, and making sure that even if you get to the day or a place where things are a little off, be okay to take a break. Be okay to take some time to kind of step back, and refocus, and then be able to move forward. But planning has a lot to do with it. I know my kids get a little frustrated with me at times, like, put it on my calendar, send me a calendar invite. But that's one place that I know, like, electronically it's going to be, and I can look at it from my phone, or I can look at it on the computer and know,
Yes.
and just be better prepared to meet their needs and not be overwhelmed because I don't know something's coming up. So
I have to say, you're one of the most organized women I've ever met in my life. I mean, it's really pretty remarkable. And since we're going there, I only talked about 3 plates, but in reality, for those of you who are watching, if you could picture a long, elegant dining room table, Brenda whips the tablecloth out and then spins all the plates that were on the entire plate and has it all color coded on her calendar at the same time. So,
this is true. There's not a color post-it that I don't like. I will admit that. So.
Well, we've talked before on Zoom, and I've seen things in the background, and I'm like, that's how you do it all. So that could be a whole nother Zoom interview for another day, without a doubt. So that, you know, it's really exciting, and I'm so thrilled that you are part of the initiative to do this, because with the amount of things that you do have going on, half of which we did not discuss, all your entrepreneurial ventures, but with all the things that you have going on, it would be easy for you to say, look, I've got that, I've got my kids, you know, and that's it. So for you to really create a resource for other women is awesome. And I salute you for doing that. Thank you for your generosity and compassion to help other people who are not as established as you are at this moment.
Thank you. And I think it comes from, you know, people have helped me along the way without necessarily asking. And you run into individuals that sow into you. And I think the biggest compliment you can give not only yourself, your God, or your universe, is giving to others, and doing so in a place where, you know, people are not sure, or are taking a lot of risk, but are trying to really follow their passion and do what's best for themselves and their family, and being there to support them. So I love it. I really do. And I wish everyone out there is an entrepreneur the best. I mean, you can do it. And whether you have to be in a place where you're doing your entrepreneur part-time while still doing a regular job, that's acceptable. Don't feel like you've got to, you know, jump out of the boat in order to be a true entrepreneur. Not at all. You've got to figure out the pace and the the system that's going to best work for you to support yourself, to support your children, to support your lifestyle and family. But if you're looking to go on this journey, I tell you, please do. It's an amazing journey. You will learn so much about yourself, about who you are, what you can be, and be able to understand that it's limitless as long as you go ahead and believe in yourself.
Absolutely. You know, it's funny. I had two businesses. I'm down to one right now. I'm just keeping it with one. But, you know, many, many years ago, one of the businesses I started back in the early 90s, I had no experience. And I was reaching out to other people in the industry who were not really, I wasn't in competition with them. They were in different parts of the country. And it was really remarkable. Some women were so nice and they would go, oh, yes, you know, I'll talk to you. And some people just didn't even want to give you the time of day. Like they had scarcity mode. And I think there's scarcity and then there is just absolute opportunity for everyone. And you represent that. Like in your world, it's about everybody having a chance and everybody being supported. So I really encourage any of you who are in Maryland to, you know, reach out. If you are watching this on YouTube, we'll put all the links below. And if you're in the Facebook group, we will put the links in there, but you can also contact Brenda if you're in the Facebook group. I'm going to put you out there. Is that okay? They can send you messages.
That is fine. That is fine.
I volunteered you. Wasn't that nice?
That's fine. I'm volunteer. I do want to say one thing. And I think when you spoke about in terms of scarcity mode and abundance, when you truly believe and understand that each individual that is out here living on this world and earth is a diamond, and you are specific or something to offer. There's, even if I met somebody that does the exact same business as I do, we as individuals are different. And so our product and our services are going to be different. And when you understand that, then you realize it's not about competition, but how you can collaborate and work with others in order to promote whatever you're doing.
That's incredible. I love that. Scarcity, abundance. That's the word I needed. Thank you. Scarcity versus abundance. And I do believe that if you operate out of abundance, you can help other people. And what's funny is it's kind of abundance karma. It always ends up coming back to you anyway. So I really want to thank you for your time, your energy, your I should say your generosity and all the things that you're doing for women. We're going to put all the links in there so people can get involved or they can check out some of the speakers and the special event you have. What was the date of the Raise Your Cup event? Raise Your Cup is September 30th. And that is going to be from 6 to 9 p.m. at the Guilford Brewery here in Baltimore. Or online if you're wherever you are. Choose to join. Absolutely. And congratulations, not only on all your success, but on how fantastic your children are. Because I know no matter what we all do and how much money we make and how much success we have in the professional world, if you put your head on the pillow at night and your kids are awesome, life is awesome. So thank you for being an incredible example of work-life abundance and balance here. And you heard it from Brenda herself. Schedule fun into your calendar. Just 3 little letters that'll change your life. And you'll have a beautiful smile just like she has, without a doubt. So thank you, Brenda. We look forward to participating in the events. And thank you, everyone, for being here.